Taj al-Yakut was terrified. On the other side of the door stood the Sultan of Marrakesh. Her husband was on a business trip, and like all moguls of his time, the Sultan was omnipotent and had a temper to match. This Sultan's passion, his obsession, was women. If he saw a woman, he had to have her. Brunette, blonde, black, white, tall, small. He wanted them all. He had 1,600 women in his harem. About a month ago, he sent his talent scout out to the four corners of his kingdom to find a woman who would outshine the other women in his harem. And the scout came back empty-handed. So he went to talk to some of the Sultan's advisors, give him some ideas, and then he went to see the Sultan. Your Majesty, the woman that you've been seeking is right under your nose. She is the wife of the Vizier. Her name is Taj al-Yakut, sapphire crown, and she is more radiant than all the women of the palace combined. Well, you know, it is said that the ears fall in love before the eyes, but he wanted to see the woman, so he took a lunch with the Vizier, and he looked around and he saw Taj coming out of the kitchen, tall and tan, young and lovely. He wanted her. And so he sent the Vizier to the next kingdom with a letter, and he told the Vizier to wait for a response from the Sultan in the next kingdom. And then the next day, he was at Taj al-Yakut's door. She opened the door, and she ushered him into this little room in the side, out of the prying eyes of her maids who were gossips. And the Sultan took a step forward to kiss those ruby lips, and Taj took a step back. Oh, Your Majesty, there's no hurry. We have all the time in the world. Let's eat. Allow me to share my hospitality with you, sire. And so he followed her into the salon and sat down on the gold brocade divan, leaned back against the pillows and fondled the tassels in anticipation while Taj went to the kitchen. Soon she came back. Following her were 7 servants, each carrying a tangine. A tangine is that pot with a peaked cover. So the 7 were laid down on the table, and Taj just took them all off. And in each pot, there was 1 brightly colored egg: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. The colors of the rainbow. What is this? Oh, sire, here, let me show you. This brightly colored red egg, when you open it up, it's white inside. And this orange one, it's a different color on the outside, but when you open it up, it's white inside. And so Taj took each egg in turn and opened it up. The Sultan said, okay, why are you doing this? Ah, Your Highness, each one of these eggs is different and beautiful on the outside, but they're all the same on the inside. They're all white. These eggs are like the women of your harem. Women may be different on the outside, but inside, we are all the same. Well, the Sultan was a little bit embarrassed, and we hope maybe he thought about his womanizing ways. He got up to leave from the divan, and his ring slipped off onto the carpet. Taj didn't notice, and a few days later, her husband came back. The middle-aged vizier was dusty and tired, but after he washed off the smell of the camel, he was delighted to take advantage of his wife's hospitality. And so it went on, and then some days passed. He's sitting in the gold brocade divan, eating his couscous, and his bare toe hit something on the carpet. He looked down and saw shiny. He bent down, picked it up, and recognized the gold ring of the Sultan. Wife, what is going on here? What is this? Oh, husband, I'm sorry. I should have told you. I should have confessed to you that the Sultan indeed was here, but all I did was offer him food, nothing else. I was completely loyal. That's all food. Well, the vizier was livid. Everything she tried to do, she held out her arms to envelope him. She did all her loving gestures. He ignored it. She made his favorite foods. He wouldn't eat a bite. She walked into a room where he was. He would leave it. It was so cold and chilly in that house that she decided she better leave. She packed her bags and went to her parents' house. Her father was the Sultan's scribe, and he knew the Sultan. He waited until he could be alone with him, and he decided to pitch a story. Your Highness, when I was a young man, I planted a garden, and I loved that garden. I tended that garden every day, and it blossomed and bloomed, and there was beautiful green plants and tall trees, and I wouldn't let a weed stay. I wouldn't let a weed take root. And after some time, your vizier came to me, and he asked to have that plot of land. And I gave it to him. And he also loved the garden and tended to it, and it blossomed and bloomed even more beautifully until recently. I don't know what happened. Most peculiar, but he has shunned the garden. It's withering from his lack of attention. Well, the Sultan didn't know what to make of this, so we asked his advisor, his vizier, told him the story, and the vizier said, Your Highness, it is true. I did ask for the garden, and I did love the garden, but not that long ago, the king of the jungle, the lion, came into my garden, and he left his trace. I am so afraid he will kill me. Well, now the Sultan understood what had happened, and he put his arm around the vizier and said, My friend, I must assure you that although the king of the jungle did go into your garden, He did not touch a leaf. He did not bend a blade of grass. It is as pure and pristine as always. I swear to you. The vizier took his leave, went to his father-in-law's house, got down on both knees in front of his lovely wife and took her hand. And through his tears, he begged her forgiveness for doubting her. And he looked up and he saw the face he loved gazing down on him like the moon on a clear night. And he knew that he had persuaded Taj al-Yakut to come home. And that is an actual story told by Mohammed Brazier in Marrakesh in 2006 and collected in The Last Storytellers, collected by Richard Hamilton.